I thought I'd show you this wonderful triple sacrifice game I had tonight. I was playing as black, and I went with the French defence, and they pushed. Well, the idea here is that if I don't take, which I don't, it exposes my queen when I recapture, but by putting the bishop here, when he does this, now he can't capture my queen. And the idea of capturing my queen is obviously just exchanging queens, but stopping me from castling and exposing my king. So my bishop being there stops that one. Out comes his dark bishop. Out comes my knight, and I'm ready to castle already. Now I'm black. You'd think it's amazing how much of an advantage you get as black if you play this opening right, isn't it? Because now I'm almost ready to castle. In fact, I've got space to make an extra move with the knight there. I thought, what the hell, I might as well. Maybe I can stop his king from moving around with this. He'll take it, or he's going to lose the rook, and possibly with no chance of recapturing it. So he takes it. So that's my first sacrifice.
Check.
And then we go with check. He can't block with the pawn, because if he does, and if he captures, the rook goes.
Check.
And if he doesn't capture, well, he's in a world of pain. So,
check. Check.
Where did we get to?
Check.
Check.
Kinside castling.
And then I just castled at that point, and I suddenly realised that actually, look how beautifully I'm positioned with that rook pointing right at his king's face. And any time he decides to get out of the way, I've got, well, quite nasty things I can do with my bishop and stuff. Anyways, he comes and a good move tries to parry, get rid of the queen, try to push her away. So she goes back to here. Don't forget, queens work at a distance just as powerfully as they work close up. She doesn't need to be right next to you in order to exert the exact same power to take. So here he does this, blocking off his light-coloured bishop. And I straight away put this pawn forward because I'm thinking I would like to get this rook exposed. He pushes on to my bishop. And my bishop's about to get embarrassed. I put the bishop here. Not quite sure why. I was thinking of sacking it in front of the king as a way of getting him to move onto the dark square, because I thought that might be useful later. And he starts to prepare the embarrassment of the bishop. It's only one move away now, and I completely ignore this fianchetto with the light squared bishop. So he comes on with his embarrassment. I don't even bother taking the pawn, because all that will do is release his rook. Instead, I just stuck the bishop here. I know, pretty odd, isn't it? What would follow if he didn't take it? Well, if he did something like this, yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's that good a move, but I did it anyway, so that's... Is that my second? Yes, that's my second sacrifice. Now I've sacrificed the knight on that square. Now I've sacrificed the bishop on that square, pretty much for nothing, except that his king's got to make another move to get away. I've kind of gained another move. I've gained more tempi. That's all I've done. Does it matter? Yes, it will. Now, I'm trying to offer the exchange of bishops. Now, any player worth his salt should be exchanging material when he's got two pieces up, but he doesn't bother. Instead, he attacks my queen. And I just line up here with the king. I'm not taking the bishop. Instead, he gets his rook onto what he considers is going to become the open file. I don't know why he thinks it will. Maybe it's just that he sees that as a weak pawn. And now I can attack his knight in front of the king. Out comes his other knight. It's a little bit late to start bringing more pieces into the game. And now I can start doing the same thing to his bishop that he did to mine, embarrassing the bishop. In fact, I could have pushed straight away with that, but instead I prepared with this. Now he attacks... I don't know what he's attacking with that knight. He's kind of not doing anything. I suppose he's looking to get onto the b5 square somehow. I don't know. And now I can get the attack finished. This bishop moves back. And now I move the queen to here. I'm attacking that knight. It's not defended. Back it goes. Well, now's the time to catch it. So now it's gone. So now his queen is eyeing my rook. But I just see good things on the horizon, so I force her away instead with these beautiful pair of pawns advancing here. Look at them. And he can have the rook. In fact, after I do this, his queen is kind of stuck in there now. She can get out, but it's going to be very slow. So she starts her lonely trek out. And I straight away have a check here. Look at that square, completely unmarked. And the king has to go back because those pawns are covering all 4 squares of his third rank. And now I keep pushing. Now let's just take stock for a second here. I've got a queen, a rook and a knight. He's got a queen, a rook, a knight and another rook and 2 bishops. He's a rook and 2 bishops up. Pretty extraordinary stuff. I've got a spare pawn for my trouble and I've got a very, very ferocious attack happening. So how is this now going to unfold? Well, it's a very difficult attack now to stop. He tries to make it a closed position, but he's given me a passed pawn. My knight can cover that very nicely. That pawn there and, well, just cover lots of things. So he tries to attack my queen. And she can come back to here. Still guarding her knight. And now his other rook comes here, and what he doesn't see is that I can take this bishop here, and when he recaptures, I can recapture with check. And you see he's got another bishop unmarked there. He really doesn't want to move on to the black square here because he's going to get checked with the queen, so he moves to block, but there's a check here anyway. So, you know, what are we going to do? Puts his knight in front of it. What's the alternative here? If he goes here, it's checkmate. So he has to block. But the knight's going to fall. And the pawn is now on the 7th rank, and his queen is looking like she can't do anything. She's taken the bait there with that rook that she ate. So where's this going to go now? Just take the rook. Now he tries to check me, and I just have to move here. And although my pawn is undefended, it's going to take him 2 moves to get his rook to take it with check. So he's got no checks. He's on the wrong colours to check my king. He cannot check my king, so he cannot do anything now to stop the inevitable. He tries to get his king a little bit out of trouble, and it's going to be check here, revealing the 8th rank for the pawn.
Promotion to queen.
And suddenly, my triple sacrifice become a queen up. Ferocious. His queen takes this pawn, getting onto the black squares, I suppose, but she still can't get to any decent checking squares. And it's just check. He goes here,
Checkmate.
and it's checkmate. So, quite an incredible triple sacrifice game, and I hope Yao enjoyed it.